Although she had been prescribed medication to help with her vivid hallucinations, she found that the side effects were more unpleasant and that she missed that part of her. Her hallucinations were so much a part of her that the sudden absence made her feel as if she was no longer herself. The psychiatrist assured her that this feeling was normal and that eventually she would recognize her new frame of mind as her true self, but Cassie doubted that this was true. In fact, she hadn't even wanted to go to a psychiatrist initially. She had warmed up to the idea after a few sessions, and although it was nice to have someone talk to her about her visions, she found it frustrating that everyone seemed to think that she needed to go. She did not blame her dad for encouraging her to go and see someone. If she was a mother and had a daughter that had been a victim of a stalker, wouldn't she also want to make sure that she got the help that she needed? Perhaps if this decision had not been forced on her, then she wouldn't feel so conflicted. However, for now, the constant reminders and encouragement over her progress made her more angry than thankful. No one understood what she had been through, and she was tired of being controlled and feeling like a symptom that needed to be cured as opposed to just a person. Everyone seemed so fixated on the fact that she needed to be cured. The only time that she took her medicine was when the true nightmares began to form, when it felt as if a hand was slowly reaching towards her, if she could feel his breath upon her skin, or even see him in front of her, bloody with his body massacred. It had been a year since the incident with Charles. The circumstances that led to his death played like a loop in her head, tormenting her and telling her that it was all her fault. The only way to stop the constant racket was for her to pop 3 times the prescription amount along with a bit of liquid courage. She had been getting better, but after meeting Bren, the memories and the reminders had started getting worse. She wanted to blame the prescription, but she knew that it was not the real cause. There was just something about Bren that made her feel uneasy, even though she viewed him as a friend.
You should be dead.
She heard Bren say. I know, she whimpered.
You're possessed. You're a demon, and no one could ever care for you.
I know,
I hope he kills you for me.
said Bren, as his image dissipated into nothingness. She cried out to the image of Bren, telling it that it wasn't real. Bren wasn't Charles, and she needed to remember that. She felt frightened. She lived alone, and the house seemed too ominously empty. Although the image was gone, she could not shake the sensation that it would be too easy for Bren to enter her house and to stay lurking in the shadows, just as Charles had done. She pulled her knees to her chest and scanned the dark room, but no one was there. Her cell phone began to ring, and she welcomed the distraction. Oh, hey, August, she smiled.
Hey, Cass. I just wanted to call and make sure that you made it home safe.
Yeah, I sure did. Bren walked me home.
You sound nervous. Have you been taking your pills?
Yeah, I took it about an hour ago.
Is he there still?
No, he didn't come in. He kind of just stood back and made sure that I was able to get in.
He didn't walk you through your door?
he asked, concerned. No, I asked him not to, but he insisted on staying close until I was inside.
I don't trust him, Cass. Please tell me that you locked your doors.
I think I did. But I'm not sure. I'll go check. She got out of the bed and walked towards the front door. The deadbolt was in place, but she did not feel at ease. She opened the blinds and peeked outside. Bren was gone, and she sighed, a breath of relief. She put a pot on the stove and began making herself some chamomile. The hairs on the back of her neck began to stand on end. She went to double check the door, but it was still locked. You're okay, she reminded herself. Although you live alone, you are perfectly safe. August is just a phone call away. You are safe. There is nothing to worry about. Charles is dead, and Bren is a friend. A robust laugh broke the silence. Without thinking, she grabbed the steaming kettle and threw it in the direction of the laughter. Hot water scorched her feet, but at least the laughter had subsided. I didn't need tea, after all, she said as she popped another pill. No space had ever felt safe. Past memories often tore through her conscious state, leaving her in a constant state of fear, reminding her that she was vulnerable and never truly safe. Once again, the hairs on her neck stood on their end. Just show yourself! I know you're here! She yelled into the black oblivion of her home. Silence greeted her in return. Her paranoia was in full swing, and she knew that something was off. She walked to check her back door and noticed that it was wide open. She tried to close the door, but the lock set had been taken off completely. She picked up her phone, ready to call the police, but paused at a text message from August.
Hey, Cass, I'm worried about you. Let me know when you're going to sleep, please. You didn't sound okay on the phone earlier.
She should have called the police, but instead, she called him. August, hey, can you come over? I'm scared. My back door has been forced open and I don't know what to do. She headed back to the kitchen to grab a knife. As she walked, she could hear the back door violently shaking behind her. The roaring tempest outside had knocked out the power, and she could feel her anxiety getting worse. She used the flashlight on the phone as she slowly creeped towards the kitchen. Shadows dashed across the mirror as the robust laughter from earlier echoed down the hall. She turned the corner into the living room and she found Bryn sitting on her couch.
Hey, Cassie, were you looking for a knife?
He asked as he gently stroked the blade of one in his hands. His aura was crimson. She had never seen that color before. Slowly, his head turned to the side while his teeth flashed a knowing grin.
I heard you scream, Cassie. It's not good for a young woman, especially one that looks like you, to be alone.
A new voice interrupted his dialogue.
Cass! Cass! Let me in, Cass!
She ran to the back door, ignoring Bren in order to open it. But the door, that had just been opened a few minutes ago, was stuck closed. Come to the front! I'll unlock it! When she ran back to the living room, Bren was gone. She yanked the door open and let August into the house.
Cass, are you okay? Have you called the police? Why are you in the dark? Let's get some lights on, okay?
They won't turn on.
Where's your breaker box? I'll go check it.
I really don't know, she stammered. She followed him as he searched the house, but they had no luck.
It's probably outside. Do you mind if I go out the back door and look? It doesn't seem like anyone's here.
You can, but it's broken, remember?
Everything seemed fine to me. I didn't see the broken lock from the outside like you said it would be, but I'll look at it again.
They approached the door and saw that it had been sealed closed.
Cass, do you ever use this door?
He asked.
It looks like it's stuck in its casing. There's no way that this door could open.
What? She asked, confused. Hadn't she just seen that the lock had been tampered with an hour ago? Yeah, I forgot. I had someone do that when I first moved in, as a safety measure. I sort of forgot.
It's okay. You're crazy, you know? If you wanted me to come over and stay the night, you could have just asked. I've been hinting that I liked you all summer. You didn't have to come up with some elaborate ploy.
The breaker was outside, and August was able to turn the lights back on to the house. He searched one last time and came back to where she had been sitting in the living room.
No one's here. The only abnormality was that your bathroom window was open, but that was likely a result of the storm. It knocked over a vase, and there's water all over the floor. I cleaned it up and made sure that the window was properly latched so that it won't happen again. Let's go ahead and get into bed, okay?
As they lay in bed, she wrapped her arms tightly against his exposed chest. For once, she felt safe. She felt it within his embrace. She knew that he would protect her. The next morning, she woke up and saw that she had several new messages and missed calls from Bren asking her why she never responded. He said that he was worried about her and that he wasn't sure if he could come over. She sent a quick text back explaining that August had come over and that she was sorry that she had made him worried, but that she was okay.
That's not really an excuse, Cassie.
He responded. I'm sorry, okay? I forgot. Don't be so mad at me, Bren.
I'm coming over. We need to talk.
Can we talk later? August is still here. I don't want to bother him.
I'm already here, Cassie. Let me in.
She walked to the living room and once again found him sitting on her couch.
I never left yesterday. I've been worried about you. I walked in through the back door after hearing you scream. I grabbed this knife to protect you. You shouldn't be alone. Come sit next to me.
She sat down.
Can I hold you?
He asked her. Bren, this is really weird. Plus, I'm here with August.
No one is here, Cassie. It's only ever been the two of us.
I'm gonna go check on him. As she walked back into the room, all she could see was an empty bed. Had their night together really only been a dream? She turned back to face the entrance of the room. Bran was standing there watching her, as if she was some misfortunate creature to be pitied.
Cassie, I have something to tell you.
Okay, she sighed, motioning for him to come sit on the bed and feeling nervous about whatever it was that he could possibly say to her.
Are you sure?
He asked in excitement. It's just a place to sit. You seem like you have something serious to say, and I'd rather be at eye level.
Okay. Look, I really don't know how to say this, but I don't think that you should live alone anymore. I would like to move in.
I've lived alone for years, she said, taken aback.
Cassie, you have a problem, and I'm really concerned for you. Someone needs to be here to protect you from intruders, and more importantly, from yourself. When I spend the night on your couch, I often find you in a trance like state, walking around the house and murmuring to yourself. Your eyes are wide open, and you appear to be awake, but when I try to shake you
She
out of
took
it,
another
you
pill
never
as he
respond
continued
and
to
continue
speak.
doing what you're doing. You mumble about how people are coming to get you. When you do look in my direction and acknowledge me, you say that you know that August wants to kill you and that it's only a matter of time. I like you, Cassie. I want you to live with me. I want to protect you, to be with you, and to keep you safe. I don't like August coming over. I don't trust him, and you clearly don't trust him either. I hate that he lives so close to you.
Bren, she hesitated. I thought that I made it obvious that I like August.
I know what you've said, but he doesn't like you, Cassie. He's only using you. We talked last night while you were sleeping, and he said that if you two did get together, that he would only be in it for the sex.
She glared at him. She wasn't sure what to believe, but at that moment, she needed him away from her, and she told him so. Instead of leaving, he came closer to her with his arms outstretched. She felt claustrophobic as memories of Charles began to swim to the surface of her active consciousness. She shoved him away from her. Get off of me!
Are you going to kill me if I touch you? You killed Charles, but you won't be able to kill me, Cassie. I'll protect you from yourself. Demon be gone. Leave her body alone. She won't be killing anyone else.
His aura was crimson. She woke up, sweating feverishly.
Cass, babe. Cass, please, I'm here.
August whispered as he pulled her close to him.
It was only a nightmare. Have some of your medicine and go to sleep.
August handed her her pill bottle, and she took one of her pills, noticing uneasily that the contents were growing thin. August kissed her on her forehead and pulled her back into his arms. She listened to August as he fell back asleep. Although she had taken a pill, she could not help but to still feel shaken by her dream. Normally, she would check the corners of her house before drifting back to sleep. This action calmed her down, but tonight her eyes found Bren with his crimson aura holding her knife in the corner of her room. His head was cocked to the side, and he had a large grin upon his face. She ran back to the bed and held tightly onto August until sleep finally took her over. August and Cassie began dating after that night, and she decided to not tell August the source of her nightmare. When he asked, she feigned ignorance and said that she couldn't remember. She still saw Bryn in the corners of her house, and although she knew that it was all a hallucination, she still found it increasingly difficult to talk to Bryn. It wasn't fair to her to dismiss Bryn. It wasn't as if he had actually done anything, and he also wasn't the only one that she saw. She also often saw Charles lying bloody in her bed and her younger self staring at the body of her attacker before disappearing behind a mirror. Compared to Charles, Bren was significantly less disturbing. August could tell that she was bothered by her strained relationship with Bren.
I'm going to be gone for a week for my work conference. While I'm gone, it might be good for you to mend your relationship with him. I think me being gone might make it easier for you both.
She made plans to go out for drinks with Bren a few days later. His aura was blue, and he picked her up from her house.
Hey, Cassie. I'm sorry, but I forgot my wallet at the apartment and need to go back.
He insisted that she come inside as he opened the door and let her walk in first. He grabbed his wallet and made for the door before stopping in front of it.
Cassie, I have to tell you something. I want you to live with me. I want to keep you safe. I don't trust August, and I hate that he lives so close to you. I took the liberty of gathering clothes your size, your favorite beauty products, and anything else that you might need.
Bren, I don't want that. I like August. I'm dating August.
Cassie, he's a stalker. He sneaks into your house through your bathroom window, and he lurks inside.
Excuse me?
He's a stalker.
What I want to know is why you're saying that. And because you knowing my clothing size and what makeup I wear almost makes you sound like a stalker.
Cassie, I've loved you since I first met you.
You've never been invited inside of my house. How do you know I have a window in my bathroom?
Cassie, you aren't listening. I see him go into your house every night.
Yeah, Bryn, we're dating.
He doesn't like you. I can tell. I stay hidden in your corners and have watched him. I will protect you from him. He's only using you.
You broke into my house?
We had a conversation. He said that he's only using you for the sex, and that he's planning on breaking up with you. I, on the other hand, have loved you for weeks.
I've only known you for a month.
You'll be safe with me. I won't use you. I will actually love you.
She ran to the bathroom and locked the door, determined to call the police. This can't be another Charles intrusion. It can't. The vents were loud, and she thought that she would be safe. But in the bathtub, she found something that disturbed her. There was blood all over it and on the bathroom floor. A message was there for her to read, smeared in blood on the wall. Cass, get. Whatever else it said was completely illegible, as it made lines down the wall as if whoever was writing it fell and lost their balance while writing. Cassie crashed to the ground, trembling as the bathroom door handle began to move. She could not find the voice to scream, not that she thought that it would have mattered. She could sense her own blood draining from her face as her whole body trembled violently. Why is this happening? What is happening? She thought out loud. She grabbed her pill bottle, but it was empty. How long had it been since she had taken her medicine last? She tried to remember, but the blood on the floor was swirling sickeningly around her. Bren opened the door. His aura was a deep crimson.
It's a lot of blood, isn't it? I hadn't expected it, but he was good practice. If you refuse to love me, then I will kill you. How could you date him, Cass? You knew that I loved you.
She closed her eyes and wished for it to all go away. She found her voice and finally let out a scream.
No one can hear you, Cassandra. Finally, the demons that possess you will be dead. I am your remedy.